Hi everyone. So I just wanted to jump on, and even though we're a couple of days before Christmas, I just wanted to just pop on and wish you all a happy Christmas. I will be sending out a post on Christmas Day if any of you get a chance to read that. But today's feeling very Christmassy for me. We had an early Christmas with my son and his fiance, because we're not going to be able to spend time with her on Christmas Day this year. And so that was really, really special. Everything just felt so Christmassy and so relaxed, so chilled out. So just wanted to talk a little bit about how we're ending the year and how I want to move into the new year. So over the last couple of months, we've been doing themes on the with the newsletter, and I really want that to continue. This month we're doing gratitude. If you haven't been following along, you can just jump in, and the free posts and the paid posts all follow a gratitude theme. So there's one simple quick tip, a quick win in the free post, and then we go a little bit deeper in the paid post so that you've got a little bit more depth to work on, because gratitude is, in my opinion, one of the best things to focus on to really bring change into your life, if that's what you want in. And also, if everything is absolutely fantastic for you in your life at the moment, it's to just let the universe know, I am so happy with my life, and just keep giving me this. The gratitude is an all-round super emotion. It's one of the highest vibrating emotions that there is, and you can be having the absolute worst day and you can shift your focus to gratitude, and that creates an energy and mindset shift in you, which is always going to be helpful for you. So that's what we're doing this month. We've done the self-worth series as well, the law of attraction process series. Moving into 2026, we're going to carry on with the themes. The overriding theme will always be empowerment, creating a positive mindset, so that you can be the person that you want to be and create the life that you want. So this publication, the things that I do, it's not about creating these millionaire lifestyles, where we just go off on luxury holidays all year round and things like that, have luxury lives sort of thing. Because, to be honest, what I've found is most people don't really want that. What they want is their everyday life to be happy, to be what they want, rather than feeling overwhelmed, struggling in life, not showing up as the person that they want to be, that kind of thing. So that is definitely something that I did for a long time. I didn't particularly like the person that I was showing up as. Wasn't a horrible person by any stretch of the imagination, but I certainly wasn't being true to who I wanted to be. And I wasn't living a life that I wanted either. And it took a lot for me to become the person who felt capable of creating a life that I wanted. My life isn't perfect. Some days far from it. But I have created a life of my choice that, for the most part, I absolutely love. And I love the person that I am. I love how I show up in life. And for me, that is so, so important. So as we move into 2026, we're going to be focusing on very much on sort of like empowerment and creating this real positive mindset that is going to support you. And the first of the series that we're going into in January is empowered. It's like empowered goals, I suppose, but instead of goals, we're going to be focusing on a theme, intentions, and aligned action. So we're not making these ridiculous New Year's resolutions that none of us ever stick to. You know, we've all been there, haven't we? Where we make a New Year's resolution and it's like by the time we get to February, it's either been forgotten or we just haven't taken any action on it. So, and what I've certainly done in the past is I've set these solid big goals and haven't really gone anywhere. And, you know, I generally love goal setting. I've been a fan of goal setting, but what I've found is when we set these really big goals for ourselves, I certainly get overwhelmed by big goals, and they just sometimes seem so big that we can't possibly achieve them. And I'm definitely someone who is like, yep, absolutely, if you've got a big goal, absolutely go for it. But if you're someone who gets overwhelmed by big goals and then you don't end up starting, what I see happening with people all the time is they want something, they want to achieve something in their life, no matter what area of their life that is, but it seems so far away and so much pressure sometimes that they don't achieve it. So that can be anything from, you know, creating a house that feels, you know, calm and not cluttered and things like that, to building better relationships, to creating a healthier lifestyle. One of the examples I like to share a lot, because I think it's a really practical example that people will get. So a few years ago, I was told that I was pre-diabetic. It was quite a long time ago now, quite a good few years ago. And it really scared me. I didn't really understand what it meant, but it really, really scared me. And so I knew that I had to go back again. I think it was 3 months later. And it was like, oh my, I need to change. I need to change what I'm doing. And one of the things that I knew was going to help was regular exercise. And at the time, I really wasn't doing very much. I wasn't moving my body. I was, at that stage, I was literally getting up, sitting on the you know, working on the laptop pretty much all day, and only kind of leaving the house when, you know, I was going to pick my son up. He was still at school at that point. He's grown up now. He's like 24, about to leave home. But at that time, I really could just sit and work all day. My dog, you know, he's got the garden. He's not the kind of dog who is like at the door saying, I want to go for a walk. You know, I was always very hit and miss whether I took him for a walk or not, because he's just happy just exploring the garden, and, you know, I'd play with him and, you know, do things like that, but I didn't always take him for a walk. And I knew that if I set myself a goal to sort of walk for half an hour a day or an hour a day, whatever the case may be, I wouldn't do it. I wasn't going to do it, because I could always think of something that I wanted to do more importantly rather than go and walk for half an hour. So I set myself a goal to walk to the end of my drive. Now I can get 2 cars parked on my driveway, and so that gives you, so I walk down the side of my house and then 2 car distance to the end of my driveway. So it's not a long way at all. And that was my goal for about 6 months. And what I found was the barrier was not going for the walk. The barrier was getting out of the door, putting the right shoes on and getting out of the door. And I took the dog with me. I always took the dog with me. And if for some reason I really, really didn't want to go further than the end of the drive, I could turn around and come back in again. And I can tell you, I never, ever did that. Some days I was probably out for less than 2 minutes. I would just walk a little way and come back again. But most days I would walk for sort of like 10, 15 minutes, half an hour, whatever the case may be, because once I was out of the door and I got started with the walk, it was just easy. And I'd already overcome that little bit. So that is an example of how these little actions can build up, because I built a habit of going out for a walk. And habits like that, they compound over time. So what my focus will be on in January is sharing how these small aligned actions, not random actions, but small aligned actions can really build up. And when you have a theme that you're going to carry through the year, you can change it through the year. You're not fixed to anything through the year. But when we're going gentle with ourselves, when we're really focusing in on what it is that we really want, the actions matter. And they can be really, really small. But if they are really aligned with what you want, they really will make a difference. And I've had times in my life where I have just put so much pressure on myself. I've burnt myself out. I've become ill and just felt so overwhelmed. It's just been horrendous. And I've definitely found balance over the years. And I definitely found that pushing yourself, working for something is not the best way for many people, because they just end up in this vicious cycle and they're not actually focusing on what's really, really important. And I know there were times when I was working, good 15 hours a day, every day, and just falling into bed every single day. And I was busy, really, really busy, but I wasn't productive, and that was not the most successful time in my business. Now, that same thing, because I'm not, my publication is not a business newsletter, but I know for many people, you do have business goals or career goals, but it's the same thing. If it's a health goal, if it's just working on yourself, because a good chunk of the last 15 years for me has been working on myself, going from someone who didn't like themselves to someone who loves themselves, someone who just didn't believe in myself at all, to someone who absolutely believes I can do whatever I want, and I can have the life that I want, and I build that into my daily life. So, it doesn't need to be what people class as traditional goals. It's just deciding, what you want for yourself. We set intentions, really good, clear intentions, and then we take aligned actions. And we build on those, and we're going to be working on that throughout the year. That's where we're going to start. We're going to work on it throughout the year, but then each month I'm going to draw something else in to support you as well. Things like self-love, using the power of your thoughts to support you, using EFT to support you more. things like that throughout the year. So we're really just going to build each month. We're going to build even more on what we're learning, so like in January and moving forward. So I hope that you'll join me. If you're a free subscriber, then you'll get some fantastic tips. I always give a preview as well for the Thursday paid, the premium content that I put out. You'll always get something valuable in it. So just because it says paid on it, if you want to stay free, that's absolutely fine. But don't ignore the paid content, because you will get a portion of it where you will get something valuable. So please read that. If you're a paid subscriber, you're obviously going to get, you know, more value, more in-depth things. You know, a lot of the times you get, you know, the EFT session will be within the paid content, and extra things that you can do tied in with, you know, really working on that particular thing and applying it in your life. I don't ever want to just share random stuff with you that you read and think, oh, that sounds good, but it doesn't change anything for you. I always want to give you really valuable, like, ideas, tips, exercises, tools that you can use in your daily life. They don't take hours to do. Oh gosh, that sounded really bad. It sounds like I've got a bottle of a load of like alcohol down there. I have, but they're gifts for they're gifts for Christmas for people. So whether you're a free subscriber or a paid subscriber, I always want you to be able to read and take away something valuable that you can apply in your own life. And with each theme, with each monthly theme, my intention is to create a separate workbook. So this will be available to buy from my Etsy store. There's already lots on there already. But each month there will be a new workbook to tie in with the monthly theme. And that will be an extra that you can buy separately. If you're a paid subscriber, I've now made it so that it's 50, you have a special, for the whole of my Etsy shop, not just that particular workbook, you will get 50% off. Little further down the line, I am going to be focusing on creating mini courses that will have sort of like video tutorials as well. So different people like different things, you know, they like different ways of learning. So I want to be able to offer different styles of learning. And I do intend to pick up with my YouTube channel. I had to like just put that on hold for a little while because just things got too busy for me. But I'm starting off the new year. I've already set this in place, but I'm starting off the new year, and for the first time in 15 years I've got a done point in my business. So I will create the posts for my newsletters, the free ones and the premium ones. I will create the workbook, and I do everything a month in ahead, and then just sort of like just go over it again just before it's about to go out, so that I make sure everything's still relevant. And my content always will still be relevant because it's evergreen content. It's not like specific to a particular time. And so I will do that. I will have time set aside for if you want to book in coaching. You know, I will have time for coaching within my schedule. It will be limited, but I will be taking on 2 or 3 coaching clients at a time. So once I've got 2 or 3 booked in, I won't take anyone else on until one of those people have finished, because I really want anyone that does coaching with me to really get my attention. You know, it's not just a case of, oh, you know, book 4 coaching calls with me, you're on for the hour and that's it, that's all you get, sort of thing. That's not how I work. That is not what I want. So if you're interested in coaching, let me know, or there is some information already out there on the publication. If you can't find it, just give me a shout. I'll point you in the right direction, or just ask me questions. So there's time for coaching as well, creating the workbooks, creating the posts as well, and obviously the general kind of making sure it gets pushed out to the right people. I'll still be keeping up with my daily notes. I usually post notes within my publication. There's like a bit of a social, if you're not familiar with it, there's a bit of a social media so like platform within the publication where I can post little messages, and I do that every day. So again, if you're not getting those, let me know, and I will make sure I point you in the right direction. It's a very positive, so like, it's probably a positive take. If any of you like familiar with the old Twitter, X now, I think for most people that got very negative. So, but this is a really positive, so like kind of daily social media type thing. Really, really good. What else can I tell you? What else will I be doing? I think that's probably it. I want to start getting consistent again with my YouTube channel, but also, you know, things just for the publication, you know, little messages, little chats like this, you know, that we just get to know each other a little bit more. So, you know, let me know how your year's been. Let me know if you're excited about Christmas, or, you know, is it a time where you struggle? I've had times where Christmas has been an awful experience. You know, it's been a very sad time for me. Thankfully, this year it's a very happy time. Sadly, I've lost 2 relatives this year, my auntie and my uncle, from sort of different sides of the family. One was my mum's brother, one was my dad's sister, and you know, that's really sad. But overall, this year is going to be a happy Christmas for us, and something that I'm really looking forward to. It feels very chilled, very relaxed this year, which I'm very grateful for. And you know, moving into 2026, I definitely want to take this gentleness with myself into 2026, this deliberate action, you know, aligned action, not just busy for the sake of being busy. And when I am here doing something with my business, I'm all in. And then, you know, I have my time when I'm doing different things, time with my family, time to, I've given my family a book list this year for Christmas presents, because one of my things that I want to do is I want to read more, because I can't tell you the last time I actually read a book. I listen to audios. I do listen to audios, but I think there's something very different about just reading a physical book rather than reading articles and things online. You know, I probably shouldn't be saying that, because I want you guys to read my articles online, but there's space for all of this, isn't there? But I think that kind of switching everything off, you know, switching all the electrical devices off and having that time with just a book, I think it's just very, very calming, and that's something that I want to do more of next year. Just things away from business, because so much of my life over the last 15 years, because I love what I do so much, it's been so like all-encompassing sort of thing. You know, if I'm not spending time with family, or if I'm not specifically doing something different, I'm working, because that's the kind of person I am, because I love it. I absolutely love it. But I'm at a stage now where I want that to be a part of my life, and I don't feel like by doing that I'm going to give less. I actually feel like by doing that I will be able to give more, and more that is very, very aligned with what I want to offer people, what I want to help people with and give people. So I'm excited about that. Let me know what you're excited about, anything that you're struggling with, and I just hope this is going to be a really, really lovely year for all of us, you know, moving into 2026 and, you know, finishing off this year. You know, we're not over this year yet, and just what I want to say is I want you to be clear about what you want, and I want you to put things in place for you to be the person you want to be, for you to create the life that you want. We all have to make compromises along the way, sometimes. But as long as it's not most of the time, that's okay. And I want us to be gentle with ourselves, with each other, to be supportive of each other. And that, I think, goes a long, long way. There's been some words that have been sort of coming to mind for me recently, and if you've been around for quite a long time, you will have heard these. You would have heard me say these, and it's usually in connection with releasing something. If you've ever heard me do the or joined in with any of the EFT spells, so it's not magic, it's not woo woo, so kind of, you know, it's not witchy spells or anything like that, but it's just the phrase, that was what they call them. And one of the things we say is, it would go something like this. So if we were working on releasing sadness, it would say, all of this sadness I now let you go, soften and flow, soften and flow. And we would just repeat that as we go through the EFT points. But the words soften and flow keep coming up for me. I was just driving along, I was on my own, I was going to pick my son up from somewhere. It was, you know, quite late at night, and just in my head I just had these words, you know, soften and flow, soften and flow. And then again the other morning, again driving, I just had them, soften and flow, soften and flow. And I sort of explored this bit because it keeps coming into my head, and because I've always associated it with releasing, you know, let them soften, let them flow, let them kind of go, let them release. But actually, I think what the message is for me is that I need to soften and flow. And that is very much how I want to move into, you know, the next year. Because, and it's what I've already started doing. You know, I've very much had a focus on being gentle with myself. You know, being gentle in my approach to how I do things. Not putting this horrendous pressure on myself. You know, I think for so many years we've had this hustle your way to this, hustle your way to your dreams and everything. And actually, I just think it's so destructive to our mindset and just the way that we approach life and business. I don't think it's a healthy or positive way of living or working. So that's something that I'm definitely going to be sort of like conscious of as I move forward. You know, soften and flow with my way of doing things, because I don't want to feel overwhelmed. I don't want to feel burnt out. I want to be able to say yes to the things that I want more, and I want to just really feel at my best, you know, without any kind of ridiculous expectations. And that somebody said to me, I posted something in one of my notes, and it was a quote from it was a piece from a longer post, and it said something about an achievement or a thought maybe, and let it be small, sort of thing. And the context of the bigger post was that the small things, when you keep doing these small things, they add up, they compound over time, and they create something wonderful for you. They create real change for you. So that was like the bigger context. But someone replied to me, quite rightly so, and they said, I don't like that. That feels limiting to me. I'm not sure of the exact words, but it was something along those lines. And I absolutely understood that. And so I gave more context to that person. That no, absolutely, if you feel like there is something big that you are ready for, absolutely go for that. You know, if you need to step out of your comfort zone for something, and you know, be really brave about something, and you're ready for that, you know, or something that you really, really want to do, absolutely, 100% go for it. Amazing. But my point is, and was with that comment, that you don't need to be overloading yourself. You don't need to be pushing yourself so hard that you end up not doing anything, not achieving anything, not moving forward, because you're just so overwhelmed, so stressed, so burnt out, or it just saps all of your confidence that you just can't move forward, and you don't end up achieving anything really. So instead, we do it gentle, we do it small, we do it with, you know, love and kindness to yourself, and trust that these small things add up. So that is sort of like that's where we're going moving forward. This is a much longer post video than I intended it to be. So if you stuck with me, well done. Thank you. Thank you. You know, whether you're a free subscriber, whether you're a paid subscriber, whether you buy my workbooks, whatever you do, whether you just read my notes, thank you. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for being here. And I hope that I can play a part in helping you to be the person that you want to be, helping you to feel empowered and capable of creating a life that you want for yourself, to believe in yourself. So I had people in my life who believed in me when I didn't believe in myself, and I want you to have that belief in yourself. And even if I do not know you right now, even if we never ever have a conversation, because I've got people who buy my workbooks, who pay for my premium subscription, who never communicate with me, and that is absolutely fine. If you want to communicate with me, I would be delighted. But I know that I have people who they buy from me, they subscribe to me, and there must be something going right, because I know that many of these people, they go on to buy more than one thing from me. So I know that these people are getting something from me, and if I can be a part of improving your life at all, I am so grateful for that. That's what I want. I want to be able to do that. and I want to do it in a way that empowers you. I don't intend to, I don't intend for you to need me forever. You know, I've been to things where you sort of think, oh, yeah, okay, I feel a bit better now, but, you know, the next day I'll be back to square one again, sort of thing. And I only feel better if I keep going to these sessions and different things like that. And that's not what I want for you. If you choose to stay with me, you know, for the next 20 years, that is absolutely lovely. But do it because you like being a part of it. I love being a part of real positive communities and, you know, reading everything that someone puts out, sort of thing, because they just remind me of all these positive things in the world and remind me of positivity that I can create in my own life. And I'm always learning new things. But my goal is always, in every single post, every note, everything that I put out, I want you to be able to take something from that and put it into your own life immediately and just keep building and building and building. I work on my energy and mindset every day. And if I didn't, I think I would be quite depressed, really. I think I would be quite a depressed person. I'm the kind of person who worries about all kinds of things, and I can create massive scenarios in my head very, very quickly. And so for that reason, I work on my mindset every day. Many, many people who know me just think I'm a naturally upbeat, positive person, and I am most of the time, but that's only because I've put things in place in my own life so that I stay that way. And it's not forced for me. You know, at the beginning it was forced. You know, I had to really deliberately put these things into my head. I still am deliberate with what I put in my head, and what I allow into my world, into my immediate world. I'm very, very careful about that. And, you know, that's something that I've worked on for many, many years. And that's not to say that you can't make changes today, tomorrow. You absolutely can make big changes very, very quickly in your life. But like with the coaching, I offer 4 weeks. It's 4 calls. We work through a program, but it is also very flexible so that it works for you. You know, you're not a number to me. You're not, well, you have to fit in this box. That is not me at all. But we work through a specific guideline to get you to where you want to be. At the end of that coaching, you will not be the finished person that you want to be. You will not have created the magnificent life that you want for yourself, but you will have the right energy, the right mindset, and you will have the tools and techniques for you to be able to move forward. And during that time, we will make a shift so that you feel empowered to be able to carry on. And that's important. That's really, really important. So I've covered a lot here that I actually probably didn't intend to talk about, but I hope I've given you some good insight about what you're going to get if you stick with me, you know, moving into the new year. And I would just want to wish you the most amazing, lovely end to the year. Be gentle with yourself. Just make sure that you're giving yourself so much love and so much grace at this time of year. You do not need to be perfect. Your life does not need to be perfect for you to have a really, really lovely life, for you to just enjoy life. So please remember that as we move over through the next few days, because it can get overwhelming, it can get stressful, it can be emotional, it can be really emotional for many, many, many people. So be gentle on yourself. If there's someone in your family that just bugs you, be gentle with them. You know, just try and accept people for who they are, and trust that people will just accept you for who you are, and be the person that you want to be. Okay? Thank you for being here with me, and I wish you a fantastic Christmas, New Year, and far beyond. Bye.